I am Liz Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. I recently chatted with Dana CUADRADO and ESTELLE HALLICK, publicists at romance fiction publishing imprint Forever. Dana and ESTELLE shared the soon-to-be-released must-read romance titles that you need to add to your to-be-read lists. Let's do this. Enjoy, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, ESTELLE. Hi, Dana. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance.
Hello, Liz.
So, ESTELLE, you are the Associate Director of Marketing and Publicity with Forever. What does that mean? What do you do?
Right now at Forever, I am a person who works with some of our rom-com authors. I work to get them media, to get them interviews like on your show, Liz, and also working a lot on marketing. So we do social media coaching. We come up with really fun things to make for pre-order campaigns. We work really closely with bookstores. There's a lot to this job. It's really different every single day. A lot of it is sending emails, keeping everybody organized, and also not knowing what day it is because you're working on a book that comes out in August, and then you're also thinking about a book that comes out in March of 2022. So it is a lot to keep in order.
Dana, you are the Marketing and Publicity Associate at Forever. So what does that mean?
So I work with ESTELLE and the team. I manage all of these social channels right now. So I am, Instagramming, tweeting, posting on Facebook, posting in our influencer Facebook group, making fun TikToks, and really talking to the romance community that we have and that we foster. And they're all so fantastic. And it's fun talking to readers about how much they love romance and how much they love our books. And I also am a publicist for a few titles.
Is there a particular romance trope that excites you the most?
I love like a fake dating, fake engagement, fake any like marriage of convenience type of thing. I feel like it's always really fun when we're just like forcing people to spend time with each other and they're like, either they're not into it or one is, or there's some kind of deadline. I love a deadline with a fake dating.
You like some forced proximity with your fake dating. So yes, the two of them together, that's a winning combination.
I also really liked forced proximity. I am also a big fan of like hate to love or enemies to lovers. And I think I have a certain soft spot for that because my husband and I did not like each other when we met at first, or I did not like him. It was apparently he liked me, whatever. So I think I do always like to read those because I think the chemistry is so great. There really isn't a trope that I don't like, though, I have to say.
Well, you have to be the first person who has a personal, enemies to love or a hate to love relationship. I won't ask for any details, but I'm just going to leave that there. I think that's rather interesting.
I'm very excited to talk about First Love Take 2 by Sajani Patel, which comes out in September. This is the second book in this world that Sajani has created in Houston, Texas. And this is a second chance romance, forced proximity, all of the things. I keep calling it The Notebook, but Daniel, the hero, is Rachel McAdams, and Preeti, the heroine, is actually Ryan Gosling in the story because there is a little bit of class difference. This is a couple that broke up 6 years ago. He has no idea why she broke up with him, and suddenly they're living in the same apartment together, and she has like no choice but to tell him what's up. Sajani also does a really great job of exploring some serious topics like mental health, anxiety, racial discrimination within the Indian community. I really, really like this one. I thought it was super touching.
We have The Inn on Sweetbriar Lane coming out on September 28th. This is by Jeannie Chin. It's the first in a new small town series for us. And I really am excited for readers to have it in their hands because it has both Asian representation and I think touches on kind of harder hitting topics, but also has really great chemistry for both these characters. So it follows June Woo, who helps her family run their inn in this small town. But kind of sadly, like a lot of small towns, they're not doing great like economically. So she really wants to help the inn and also kind of take care of her mom's medical debt. She had cancer and now she's doing well, but June has hid the fact that there's like a lot of debt. And so it's decided that she's gonna like get the town to have their old fall pumpkin festival again, which is so cute. And I think if you're like a Hallmark fall festival movie lover, you're gonna love that aspect. And then the hero, Clay, he's just come home from war, and his best friend who he met, his whole goal after he came back from overseas was going to be to go back to this small town, the same one that June lives in, and to open up a bar. But sadly, his friend passed away and can't, achieve his goals there. So Clay is like wanting to open this bar on Main Street. The whole town council is like, no, like we don't want a bar on Main Street. And he wants like a real authentic sports bar. And so June is like, okay, how can I like get all the things that I want here? So she wants to help Clay to like also revitalize the town, and they butt heads the whole time, and it's hilarious. And they're both dealing with grief and kind of the money issues, and there's also sexy times, which is unexpected for a small town, and I'm a big fan.
And you said that there's a pumpkin festival?
And there's a social media star cat who is on the cover.
I'm getting chills.
Next title, How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson, which comes out on November 2nd. You might know K.M. Jackson already. She is Kawana Jackson and the author of the Real Men Knit series, which was one of my personal favorites, published by our friends at Berkeley. This is a total standalone. It started actually with a tweet and then a book proposal, which is sort of funny. I love a little backstory. But for this one, we have a 40-year-old main character who is an artist living in Manhattan. She is sort of stuck in her life in many ways, and she finds out that her ultimate love, Keanu Reeves, is going to get married because of all of this news that's coming out, and she pretty much freaks out. She's like, what am I doing with my life? What's happening? How is Keanu getting married? I never thought that this would happen. It really shakes her to her core. So of course, just like any other fan, they're like, we need to stop this wedding. So her friend True, who she's been friends with a really, really long time, they kind of go on this quest together to go find Keanu. And throughout this whole thing, she is sort of making decisions about her career, her life in general, what is important to her, and also realizes that maybe True is not just a friend and he's more than a friend. This book is total joy. I had such a good time reading it.
We have The Perks of Loving a Wallflower by Erica Ridley coming out on October 26th. This is the highly anticipated second book in the Wild Winchester series following the Duke heist. And we're back with the Winchester family, who are an adopted family. We have Tommy, who is the heroine of this book. And Tommy spent most of the Duke heist dressed up as like an old woman. So Tommy's thing is disguises. So Tommy in this book is dressing up as a baron and is back with Tommy's crush from the first book, Philippa, who is a bookish blue stocking who has like a book club. And Tommy is like so like enamored by Philippa. And then Philippa finds out that this baron who's helping her decode a manuscript is actually a woman. And I'm so excited for our first queer historical. I think readers are going to love this book. And I think Erica Ridley put a lot of care into having Tommy as a non-binary gender fluid character who it's really a part of her. It's not just like, oh, she likes to dress up. She really feels comfortable in both genders, though she does identify with female pronouns.
Everything you're telling me, it sounds awesome.
We're huge Christmas lovers at Forever. So I felt like I had to mention two of our new Christmas romances that are coming out very, very soon, actually. So we have No Ordinary Christmas by Bella Calhoun. This is the first book in a new series set in Maine. We have a librarian and we have a Hollywood star who used to be her sweetheart, and he comes back to direct a movie in their small town, which is so sweet and lovely for a million reasons, and I don't want to spoil why, but they also share a dance in a library surrounded by books. And, I can't get that scene out of my head. It's a very, very, it's like a perfect little holiday novel. And I think everyone's really going to enjoy it. And then to keep going on the Christmas train, because I really never want to leave it, we have The Christmas Village by Annie Raines. We're just talking about how small towns are so amazing. And there's nothing like an Annie Raines holiday novel for me to get me in the spirit. I've been working with Annie for a really long time. And so the Christmas novel is always the major treat of the year for me. She just started a new series. This is her second book in the Somerset Lake series. It is a second chance romance, forced proximity. The heroine is dealing with her first Christmas without her mom. She's also having a ton of money problems. Her ex lives in town, and he really just wants to make up for all of the hurt that has happened between them over the past few years. And they team up for this big like holiday decorating contest together. I think Annie just does such an amazing job of making memorable side characters in her books. And I'm always excited to pick it up. So I really, really hope that people will feel all like the warm and fuzzies when they pick up The Christmas Village this year.
I'm currently reading this one and I am loving it. It's An Heiress's Guide to Deception and Desire by Amanda Collins. Comes out on November 16th. So this is a follow-up to A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem. It's another Victorian historical fiction in trade paper that has a really strong mystery element, and it's so good. So this one follows character from the first one, Miss Caroline Hardcastle. She's an heiress. She's kind of unsure like what she wants to do with her life right now at the beginning of the book. And then her friend and actress, Effie, goes missing. She's taken from her carriage when she's with her fiance, Frank, and no one knows where she is. So we find out that Frank's cousin, Valentine, was Caroline's ex-betrothed. They were engaged in secret 4 years ago. They didn't tell anyone about it and they kept it secret because Valentine, well, now is an heir to a dukedom. So there's, she's an heiress from like her dad, made his money on his own. People really kind of look down upon the fact that she's technically of a lower station, though they have more money than the dukedom. And so now they're being forced back together. The banter is incredible because she very much still hates him. And, lots happen as they, solve this mystery together and try to find where Effie is. I think if you love Second Chance, if you love like bantering, you're going to love this, but it also still has that same like feminist angle that Amanda Collins does really well.
But Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly comes out in January of 2022. I just finished this book 3 days ago. I feel like this is one of those books that really sticks with you. I can't just stop thinking about it. We have a cooking competition that brings together Dahlia and London. Dahlia is recently divorced. She just left her job, and going on to this cooking show, she really needs that prize money to sort of pay off her debts from her divorce and also figure out what she's doing next. For London, they are on the show for a lot of other reasons. They love food, but also they really want to use the prize money to start a nonprofit for LGBTQIA kids, although not quite sure what that thing quite is, and it's sort of part of the journey. I would say when they first meet, they're not exactly enemies, but they don't really get off on the right foot at all. But something just happens. They just have like this automatic chemistry. They do sort of end up near each other quite a bit, and they start like a really lovely friendship. Their friendship is so charming. The attraction that grows between them is also so lovely. The love story is just delicious. And I'm not just saying that because there's a ton of food. It is super steamy. I had no idea what I was in for. Absolutely loved it. Just everything about it. Anita did such an amazing job. It's such a thoughtful romance. It feels so full. You feel like you know these characters. I just want to go call them up and say, let's like have a dinner party together. And I can't wait for other readers to pick up the book. And it's also the first book in a 3-book series. So there will be other characters that we're meeting. And I was already like emailing the author and saying like, who's next? I need to know. So you know that's a really good sign.
Wow, that is a fantastic endorsement. Dana, you have to have something for January 2022, right?
Don't have a January book.
That's okay.
I have a December that I could mention. The Rebel and the Rake by Emily Sullivan comes out on December 28th. So this is a follow-up to A Rogue to Remember, which I've been seeing so many of our historical romance Instagrammers saying that it was like one of their favorites of the first half of the year. And that one was a spy road trip through Italy. And so now we're following another spy who is also a rake, and his name is Rafe. And so then he is at this Scottish house party, and he meets this woman who is like so not into him. She's a blue stocking. He's like, how am I gonna woo this woman? So I'm very excited. I think like historical romance readers are gonna eat it up.
I thank both of you for joining me on Reader Seeks Romance. Estelle, Dana, I believe we are now forever friends.
It's true.
And you are now Reader Seeks Romance VIPs. And I look forward to interviewing you again, where you could share even more upcoming romance titles.
Thank you so much for having us. It was so lovely to meet you. And thank you for all you do for our authors in the romance world. It's much appreciated.